Didn't.
Nice.
And that's what's up. I just opened it. I did not have that up. I promise you, man. It was just there.
Maybe that's what we'll talk about.
I guess.
Does this sound better?
Oh, yeah, way better. Yes, through the middle. Right. Test. 1, 2. Check, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sounds like it's working.
Yeah, no, it sounds really good. I sound really good tonight, man. So do you.
I must have hit a button that I didn't know I hit.
I guess, man. Or you just
do.
been messing with me the whole time. Then we'll come back in here next week and you'll be like, I didn't touch nothing, man.
It'll sound like crap. Hard to say. Maybe it's just because I hit home.
Mm-hmm. Possibly.
How's your week been?
Dude, the week's been all right, man. It's been tough, Ryan. I mean,
Be honest.
Yeah, let's go ahead and be honest, man. It's been brutal for me, actually. It's been tough. Like, I don't know how to. It's been very tough for me. It's been a struggle. It feels like no matter where I go, I'm getting attacked. I'm getting slammed. It's like I'm fighting for every little inch I got. You know what I mean? And it's like, just everybody coming at me, dude. It's everybody. It seems like it anyways. Except for you. You haven't been really attacking me much. You've been doing all right, right? Maybe a little bit in our debates, but that's just, you know what I mean, us having fun.
Those have to happen.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Those have to happen.
So I wouldn't even count that, but I'd say it's been very tough. It's been very difficult. You know what I mean? And I like to look at it like, and I struggle with this and I think about this quite often. All right. Now, because I'll get to those blissful states. You know what I mean? That we're all trying to be at. Oh, gosh, yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just like, everything is just like, you know what I mean? I'm like, and I'm goosebumping up as I say that. I just get that relief. Everything is just, I guess you could say, copacetic. And it's a very good, like I said, that infinite, like I'm drawn into God, Christ. Everything is just like gravy. You know what I mean? Like I'm living it, loving it. Everything's amazing. And then boom. And it's like, it's almost like, and then what it does is it's like I start that process over and over and over again. And it's been like that for a long time. So I started recognizing this some years ago. And it's like, as you build and build, you know what I mean? And I get through that. And then I overcome these obstacles. You know what I mean? I lean into God more. I lean into Christ more. I'm loving more. You know what I mean? I'm doing it. And I'm fighting, dude. Trust me, I'm battling. And so I get through that. And then it's like, I get there. And then what I call it's like going through a ceiling. You know what I mean? I bust through that ceiling. Yeah. And then as soon as I bust through that ceiling, there's a dude on the other side of that and just smacking the living crap out of me as I come through. And it's like, you know what I mean? And then it starts that process over. And now I don't know that it gets, as before, I don't know that I imagine that's all still existing. It's just that I've built up my endurance and that I've become better and I'm stronger. And then I get to that ceiling. And then I break through it, and then it begins again. You know what I mean? It's like I get a little calmness there as I've gained ground. I've learned. I've become better. You know what I mean? I've gained wisdom or whatever experience.
As long as you don't mistake that for complacency.
Right. Yeah.
Complacency's bad.
Right. So then as I get there, and then it's like coming through the ceiling. But then I guess we can speak on that a little bit. But I also begin to think, and in my thought process here, man, and I kind of hold to this too. It's like, I don't know that there is really even a ceiling. Did I just create that ceiling? And it's like, I'm just creating my own suffering. You know what I mean? By putting a ceiling there that I know everything's good. And it's like, I'm in that blissful state. Everything's, I'm a joy. I have I have none of those T's. I'm just like, And then all of a sudden, I have those T's, but they're just not affecting me. And then I get to that other level. Then it's like, boom. Am I creating that? And there really is no ceiling. And that's just, you know what I mean? I should be steady in that infinite present moment. Anyways.
No, I get it. When you talk about that, I kind of feel more like, like the old commercial where the Kool-Aid man breaks through the wall and all of a sudden he's just there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's happened to me a few times this week. Everything was going good, and all of a sudden, crash.
So you're feeling it too. So there was a shift. Like I texted you the other day, I said, did you feel that shift?
I know. At first when you text that, I thought it was supposed to be good, and didn't really want to comment back because things were just kind of falling apart a little bit. Stuff wasn't going the greatest.
Yeah.
And so then I didn't want to set any expectations either.
Yeah. No, I was saying the shift, like we're like, I even think like we're getting stronger. Like the shift. That's why I say breaking through those ceilings. To me, it allows me a moment to, find out gratitude in the struggle, man. Like, here we go. It's time to get stronger.
Yeah.
Time to hold ground. Like they're coming at me.
Well, I mean, you
the
can't talk about.
Principalities are at work.
You think about the 4 T's that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I suppose unknowingly I knew about that before someone brought it to my attention. But it is definitely, I'm way more aware of it now than I was before. And the 4 T's, just to review them, are testing, trials, temptations, and tribulations. I think, personally, we're constantly being tested.
Right.
I mean, just look at the world.
No, yeah. And so then we can go into it. So, I got to that blissful state. Do you think I was still getting those, and I just wasn't paying attention to them because I was totally focused on Christ, on God, you know what I mean, on joy, and it just wasn't affecting me as much. And then I get out of that a little bit, maybe.
Of our natural structure, psychologically, physically, and things.
Yeah.
And you think of, eventually it's going to penetrate your bullshit shield.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry to drop that word, but I don't know.
I get it.
It's a BS, but at some point it adds up. So it's like the whole, the cliche saying, the straw that breaks the camel's back.
I should probably get that, man. It's pretty urgent.
Just mute it.
Yeah.
Mute that.
Yeah.
Anyways, it'll probably still pick up a little bit on mine. Anyhow, so.
Oh, yeah, man. Hey.
This is part of the everything that goes on of real life happens even when we want to do a podcast and trying to help people.
Right after
it gets tough. And
there was no opening.
It's all part of the 4 T's that happen. Trying to listen to both things at once.
So, if you're available, you want me to call you once one opens up? Okay, because it sounded like there's going to be one possibly open up tomorrow, man. I just don't want to obviously promise nothing if it doesn't happen, man. Okay, cool, man. I know, dude. My day, man, as soon as they said that, dude, my heart sunk, man. I was like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, I'm goose. Look at that, man. I'm fired up with goosebumps, man. Yeah. All right, man. Yeah, man. Well, stay ready. Stay ready, man. For real. Just make it through the night, man. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, no, I can do that, man. Yeah, for sure. I come see you. I'm rolling a podcast right now. As soon as this is over, man, you want me to just call this number? Okay, I'll hit this number up and I'll come holler at you. I'll come see you. All right, hey, what kind do you want? All right, cool, man. Yep, I got you. All right, love you, brother. See you.
Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, man. Dude,
I'll try to edit through that.
Yeah, and I don't even know that you need to. I mean, it is what it is, man.
It's real life stuff that happens.
It is real life, man. And that hurts the heart right there too, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that hurts, but at the same time, I mean, it's a good thing. You know what I mean? It's movement. It's
something.
Yeah. Making moves. Anyways, where were we at?
Solemn.
Yeah, solemn.
Well, we're talking about our week.
Yeah, and to see that, and that's part of my week right there too. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then that would come together with that shift as well. So.
Oh, it does. It's a test.
Yeah, and I think that shift happens, man. And you know what I mean? On that side, it's probably wrecked him so much that now he's decided, you know what I mean, to you know what I mean, to make a change.
Yeah.
So those shifts happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and more than just me or feeling it, you got hit. You felt it. He, of course, felt it.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So
I don't know. I think a lot of it is time of year. It's just stressful. I mean, for people in the business world, it's year-end stuff, and they're going through their books and, getting ready to close out different things. They're looking at days off. Christmas is on a Monday, so people are going to have that day off from work potentially. So, there's so many things going on. For the church, it's Advent season. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it is, man.
You know?
It is a big deal.
If it's a church that follows the calendar, then it's a real big deal. There's a lot of emphasis on Advent, and the whole point of, and then you tie in worldly parts of that, it makes it even worse. My biggest struggle right now is financial, to be quite honest. And it's very interesting that for 3 years I didn't work, and the last 2 years, just relying on my wife's paycheck, she used to make a lot more money, you know, which is no excuse not to work, but it was a lot easier to pay all our bills and still have fun. And then it became this thing of, well, we only made enough to pay bills. And so any money now should be extra money, but that's not how it works out.
Dude, it's
just one thing after another.
Yeah. It is crazy. I was having that conversation too the other day. Now, I think, do you think it's just, you know, the cost of living has just gotten so much higher? Like, or just people are just getting greedy and charging more is more or less what it comes down to. I think a lot of it.
I would say, I mean, depends on how you look at it. So yeah, obviously like a year ago when eggs were $4 a dozen, it sucked to buy them. But weirdly enough, I moved into a place and didn't have to buy eggs anymore because my neighbor has chickens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you have a job now where you're making money, but you actually have less money. Or you just think you have more struggles?
I have more struggles.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Trying to decide what to do with the money is very difficult sometimes because in a way,
problems.
It is. In a way, when Trisha was the only one working, I questioned nothing.
Yeah.
Right? And then now that I have a paycheck, it's like, well, I want to have some influence on where this goes.
Yeah.
I do have a say if I choose to, and most of the time I don't care, but I like to pay my bills.
Yeah.
And I like to pay them right when I have my money, and if I spend it all on bills, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If I'm broke afterwards, bologna sandwiches it is.
I like PB&Js.
I do too.
I live on those things, man. I live on peanut butter and apples. Dude, for real. Peanut butter, apples, jelly.
I don't even want to talk about the price of apples.
Dude, yeah. Those are
it is crazy, but it's all,
man, I like
it's all, I mean, you can say all you want, oh, well, it's this and that and the other. These are all things that have happened before.
Yeah.
I mean, you think in the early 1900s, World War I hits, everything inflates.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Natural disaster. You think during the flu in the early 1900s, everything inflated, you know.
But do you think, they're saying inflation, which I imagine there's some of that. But, man, I think a lot of it, dude, is just people just charging more money, man.
There is that, obviously. Of course, that's how capitalism works, though.
Yeah.
You have to. And do you want to make more money? For you to make more money, your company has to charge more for their product. I'm serious.
Yeah, true.
I'm just saying that's the way it works. If you want to make more money, then they got to charge more for their product. And people could say, oh, that's BS. They already charge enough. They're just taking too much out of the till. Great. It's their company.
But check
they
this
can
out.
do what they want with it.
But hold on. But I agree with that too. But also at the same time, in defense to that, what I see a lot of, and I was thinking about this today, actually, before I even came on the podcast, I think about this every now and again when I'm driving. Like, I don't mean to ruffle any feathers out there, but I probably will here. Like when you're driving around, like I remember back in my day, you know what I mean, when I was a kid, and I imagine people out there can think about when they're a kid, if they're a little older or whatever. But, I remember going around in like the police officer cars. They didn't have the nicest cars that was available. They drove, you know what I mean, pretty modest vehicles. They didn't have all this fanciness and all this other stuff. They kept it pretty basic. They can keep up, but they don't have to stay ahead as far as on all that, like the nice stuff. Come on, man. They got sirens that vibrate things. They got all kinds of stuff that they used to not have. And then you can look at
did you do Dare?
Yeah.
Remember the Dare car when they had like that 95?
I'm not a big fan of Dare, Ryan.
I'm not either. Let's not talk about that. Let's focus on the car they had that they seized.
Yeah.
They had that IROC with the digital stuff.
But that stuff, they got from a drug. I get that. That kind of makes sense. Yeah. Now, however, though, they're not just getting those vehicles from drug busts and stuff like that. Well, anymore now, what they're probably doing with those is selling those, to make even more profit. But they should probably, what they're doing is they're taking tax dollars, man. They're taking money from, that we're paying in, and then they're buying all these vehicles. They're buying the nicest tablets, the nicest computers, the nicest. Yeah, their buildings are absolutely amazing. Their lawn care is extravagant. They're remodeling things constantly. I mean, they are up. They are up to speed on. They are more up to speed than my home, your home, and many other people's homes. You can say same thing about And I do get them. They are, and I don't want to ruffle the feathers. Like, oh well, I'm not against them by no means. I say they do have a purpose, a reason to be there. You know what I mean? Someone's got to uphold it. But you don't need the nicest things. I mean, way nicer than what I got or you got or many other people have. It's like you should have some moderation there, man. You're using our money. Like,
I suppose it depends on where you live. So if you live in certain parts of town, then their stuff isn't that nice, is it?
Well,
I'm just saying.
I don't know. It would still stand to reason that it's pretty nice, man.
Yeah.
Way nicer than the majority of the population.
The guys that live in those parts of town probably feel the same as you do. It's a waste of money. I don't know. I stay out of that crap.
Too, but you could go into schools too, man. Like they got those digital electric boards up, man. It's extravagant on all levels. It's like they have so much different stuff, man, that they just spend so much money on. I'm like, I don't think it's necessary, man. I think a lot of that's just overkill, man.
It is.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we get by just fine, man. You don't need all that.
Back to CB radios for the cops.
You know what I mean? Like,
you know what I miss
is one extreme or another, man.
No, I
I'm
can't.
saying there's a balance somewhere in there, and it's, I don't know, man.
That's why I stay out of politics.
Like, I would like to see how much money they're dropping on all that stuff. I'm just like, geez.
Well, you can. It's public knowledge.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. We should probably look it up, man, one of these times.
You'll just be disappointed.
Exactly,
I think we should
man,
talk about
Jesus. Way too much.
That's why it's like two things you shouldn't talk about: religion and politics. Let's talk about one only. Let's only talk about one religion. What makes people more angry? It is very interesting, though. I mean, seriously, like even just talking about some of the debates we have, which are 95%, it's like a pretty good number, mostly friendly.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, I'd like to have a good conversation.
And
man.
it is.
It's fun.
And it's funny, like even tonight when we're talking about this, and my wife was sitting there on the couch, and she was like, "Oh, you're gonna take jerky off," and I was like, "That defeats the whole point of a debate. If you get angry about it, it's not a debate. Now it's a fight."
Yeah, that means I'm winning.
If you look at it from the point of winning,
I'm kidding, Ryan.
Man, it really screws it up too.
Yeah,
I think there's some absolutes, though. I mean,
yeah, there is.
And we're talking about things that are highly debatable in the church. I mean, and hopefully things that we'll cover sooner than later, or later than sooner, whatever.
And a lot of our conversations or debates or whatever you want to say, I don't think they really, they don't change the mission, the purpose, or anything like that. It's just sometimes fun to talk about, man. Just fun.
Absolutely, it is, and it keeps you digging.
Yeah.
Because when you bring up a topic, you want to be sure of what you're talking about. I think, well, at least I do.
Yeah.
I would hope that you feel the same.
Yeah.
You
know a little something.
Yeah, but it increases your knowledge.
Yeah.
Which in the end could add to wisdom.
Oh, exactly, man. I learned a lot from just from conversating. You know what I mean? Debating with you. I'm like,
especially if I have a computer in front of me.
Yeah, Ryan's all kinds of smart. Man, you better watch out.
Well, I had 3. This is the thing that I guess would be a blessing and a curse. I don't know. I had so much time to read. But just like I said, there were certain things that I held as absolute truth. And until I found somebody that was willing to teach me different, which amounted to lots of debates that really honestly hurt me a lot.
Right.
My feelings mostly. But then it made me realize that I like it a lot better when I'm the dumbest person in the room.
Ooh.
I do.
Probably learn the most then, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So one of the, all right, let's fast forward past what we're talking about. Done talking about the police.
We've been done with that for a minute now.
Still rattling around on this side of my brain.
Yeah. And it wasn't just the police, man. It's a lot of everything.
It's government in general. It's a terrible thing.
Yes, man. I wouldn't say it's a terrible thing, but it's a...
I rest into the scripture where it says, render to Caesar what is Caesar's. Whatever he wants, take it.
Like, it's debatable whether
you know what? My rewards come later anyways. So I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of what I think about. And just so we get there, like, that's usually how my conversation ends with myself. It's like, well, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It's temporary.
Yeah. It's just frustrating in the moment.
It adds, but it is. And I think it's all things that are there to distract us from what our mission is.
Mm-hmm. The obstacles, man.
One of the things we talking about is like, I mean, we have all these topics rattling around in our head, and it's like hard to dial in on one right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very tough, man.
You know,
Very
and
tough.
a lot of it is just soaking in all the different things that are going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I still watch a lot of podcasts on YouTube, and well, I only watch YouTube, so
See, I haven't even been watching much YouTube here, man, lately.
I have a lot of time at night while I'm at work boredom.
Man.
I've been studying a lot too, but
Yeah.
it's just when I start watching some of this stuff and seeing the state of things, I have two options. I can become discouraged and do nothing, or I can become discouraged and take action.
Yeah. I
Now,
like that.
am I going to go to Washington, D.C. with a sign? No, not happening. I just wouldn't do that. But
Get a bus together.
yeah. But can I find an individual that's going through something and help them? Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, that's what, and man, I'm glad you said that too, because that's kind of where I go to it too, is I'm like, well, maybe I just need a little bit of charity in my life. You know what I mean? Try to, extend some charity, be a little bit more charitable, look to ways to be more gratitude. And usually that's how, that's usually how I come out of those, when I bust through those ceilings, you know what I mean, that I was talking about, or however that looks, or however you want to look at that, man. I'm still trying to work on that. But anyways, as you get, you start getting snapped.
Well, we talk about that a little bit in recovery.
Boom, start moving into that charitable, or, you know what I mean? That gratitude. I really focus in on that.
In recovery, they call it pink cloud.
Okay.
So you get to the state of bliss and everything's going good. You're on your pink cloud, and then you have this thing of, in the recovery, it would be like the first thing. So like things are going well, nothing bad's happened, and all of a sudden something bad happens and it sets you back a little bit.
Right.
To think that only happens one time would be ludicrous, like crazy.
Yeah.
It's
called being alive.
And I try to go back to like what my dad said. I like a challenge.
Yeah.
But then on the other end of that, I have a really dear friend that he always said, "There's no problem that a ton of money can't fix."
But more money, more problems. You know what I mean? I guess problems I might try on.
Don't equate spending a ton of money to fix something as having a lot of money.
Yeah, true.
Because look at the wealthy;
right?
they have lots more problems. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So for me, like right now, I mean, if I had $1,800, it would fix a lot of problems.
Yeah.
It would,
Yeah.
But
temporary, I guess.
Is that the right thing to do? I don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? It puts me in a position, and then I have to eat my words where I said, well, I would do this job for free. And now it's getting to the point where they're like taking 75% of my wage.
Like I'm
going to do it for free almost.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Yeah. It doesn't change my mission, does it?
Yeah.
As I see it.
Mission or the purpose.
Yeah. Which is good. I love that part.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the things that, that's a beautiful picture. I need to go there.
I know, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to distract us.
No, that's fine. We got a new computer we don't know how to use yet, but we want it to be up here so it looks cool.
I wouldn't say brand new. I'd say brand used.
It's new to us.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Brand used.
Brand new. I've never bought anything new like that in my life.
Brand used, buddy. Brand used, man.
Yeah, couldn't beat it.
Stepping up, man. Trying to get better, though, because we're not the best at them. So,
yeah,
at least we made progress and we have it up right now.
What gives me stresses me out the most is like my idea of doing the podcast is like we have to have a topic. We need to have notes. We need to, be prepared. And then when we were talking about, we had a pretty good topic last night that we were going to talk about, and then things just didn't work out. And sometimes I feel like that's part of the test and the tribulation. And then I don't know, I guess the temptation would be that we just didn't roll it. Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking on that too, as I was picking up my kid here. I was like, because I'm like, man, I don't even know if I want to roll a podcast. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of, not feeling it. Everything's going crazy. But then it's just like, but that would mess with the vision. You know what I mean?
It would.
That would mess with the vision as what I see. You know what I mean? So it's like those obstacles. If you have a vision and you're on it, like, and you're moving towards that, like those obstacles are to come, and you cannot let those overcome you.
From my personal life, what I know happens is, you skip once, and it makes it easier to skip again.
Oh, for sure, man.
It's like the ice bath. I skipped once, and now I haven't done another one.
I was just thinking that, too, those cold plunges. That's why anytime I get in there, I stay those full 3 minutes, because I know the moment I get out early, I'm going to make it easy for me.
Every time.
And, like, even when I go on runs, like today I went on a run. You know what I mean? I planned on an hour run. I was going to try to knock out a 10K within the hour. And you know what I mean? About 42 minutes into it, I was like, man, I think I've ran enough. I'm good. But then I was like, nope, I got to finish it out.
See, what you need to do
the moment I stop,
be able to
I'll
run
do
your
it next
10K
time.
in 42 minutes.
Well, no, because that mess. I mean, I could. I don't know if I could run at 42, but that then you're my heart's gonna go way too fast, dude. You run with running, man. With running, you want to run more easy runs than hard runs. Kind of helps the old heart rate out. You get better. You actually get better at running by running slower, if that makes sense.
I know nothing about it because I don't.
Yeah. Well, if you run slower, 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time have some hard runs.
First off, you already know when I run 20% of the time and walk 80% of the time. So I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're doing it. That's what I mean. 80-20, man. Ryan's a beast out there when he's running, dude.
It's stupid.
We need to get him back to it, man.
I need to.
He's been slacking.
I have been slacking.
I've been slacking myself, just to be honest.
Find 97 excuses to not run. The first one is I don't like it.
Nobody likes running, man.
I think you do.
I've done it so much that I think I've learned to like it.
Yeah. It's just like anything. It's tough to
I'd rather not run, though,
When Trisha and I started going back to church, it was hard because, I was driving truck, and really Sunday was my one day that I kind of had to myself.
Yeah.
It was the one day that I could sleep in.
Yeah.
Whatever. And she liked to go to the early service, started at 9. She liked it. I didn't care. I was indifferent to it because I wouldn't have gone if it started at noon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we went and we stayed with it and kept going and kept going and kept going. And now it's when I miss, I hate it.
Yeah.
I missed a couple weeks ago.
Same thing.
And it was tough for me.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. I remember when I first started running, dude, there was times where I couldn't even walk down the stairs, dude. It was so bad. Like it would look like I look after I run all those miles. Yeah, it's probably worse.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't move. It hurt so bad. I would just have to force myself. I couldn't stand it. I just kept at it, man.
I will honestly admit when I was doing it there that in September,
yeah,
I felt better.
Oh yeah, dude, you feel way better.
Despite the pain in my knees and all those things. I mean,
that'll go away eventually.
Yeah, I suppose it will. I
just keep doing it.
Waiting for that to happen, I just quit running. I started working a lot.
Your body will start adjusting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's the bad thing too on third shift. I'm not on my feet as much.
Oh man, we need to get you out
shift. I was going up and down the stairs anywhere from 20 to almost 40 times a day.
Yeah.
And on my feet, walking around a lot. Granted, it's in a building. Sometimes I'd be able to take the guys out for walks and stuff. Try to always get a mile in.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
That was nice. But
so
now
you're not even doing that now.
I don't have that option anymore. They're supposed to be in bed.
Yeah. We got to get Ryan off third shift.
Yeah, that's a big prayer.
Man, for sure.
It kind of.
I was almost thinking I was being selfish about that because I was like, we need Ryan off third, but I was like, maybe that's just for me. I'll miss you, Ryan. I'll miss you, man.
For everyone.
Yeah.
It really has.
For everyone, too.
On some other things that I want to do.
Yeah.
But in the aspect of good, as Jocko would say, it's given me an opportunity to have some time to take care of things that I like to do as far as study goes. I mean, you should see all the stuff. Since my computer crashed, now I have to do everything the old-fashioned way.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just have tons and tons and tons of notes printed out.
Yes.
And I don't know. It's kind of fun reading through it. It's weird to me because before 2020, I would never watch YouTube. If I wanted to know a sermon, I would read the transcript.
Oh, be damned.
I got so much more out of it than watching it.
Oh, for sure, man. Reading is way better.
Now I've fallen into the TikTok trap of I only watch about, and it's the same thing. Just like
seconds. Yeah.
Well, no, it's
30
15
seconds.
minutes.
Yeah.
So like on our videos, we might have 100 views, and the average duration's usually about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah.
And we usually talk for an hour.
Yeah.
And so that's the TikTok trend. Everything's this swipe, swipe, swipe. And if you look at some of the bigger podcasts, they'll air their 2-hour podcast in 15-minute increments. Just saying. And if you looked at their analytics, well, yeah, but they got paid production people to do all that and blah, 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 and commercials and things.
Oh, for sure.
So, but if I ever start looking at it that way, then I feel like it'll take the enjoyment out of it for me.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that I'm not doing it for other people, but I enjoy this. It's fun to get over here. All the fears and the worry and all that. I have zero of that.
Right, man.
You know,
I was wondering what we were actually going to talk about tonight. That was kind of the struggle there.
it was a
It just kinda
struggle
came
because
together.
there is the idea that you should have a focus to talk about something
Yeah.
to pinpoint, even if you talk around it. And we've already talked about 11 different things now. And the last text I sent you was like, well, we're going to talk about the excluded middle.
Yeah.
And the fact of like, there's this idea the law says the excluded middle is this. Something is either true or untrue. There's no middle ground. But what prompted the excluded middle is the idea of the social concept of there's these people that fit into zero category.
Yeah.
And that we are that people.
Yeah, we are the excluded.
And we have been definitely feeling that this week.
Oh man, it's been brutal.
I
Yeah.
feel like I don't fit in anywhere. I
Yeah.
feel like I don't fit in at work.
For sure, man.
As far as an employee goes, I feel like I don't fit in at home as far as husband goes, as dad goes. You know, my kids aren't talking to me a lot. Me and Trish have been kind of bickering a lot over this, the dumbest crap ever.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the whole idea, just like we were talking when we first led into this, of I've been in this blissful state.
Yep.
And the little fiery darts of the devil have not messed with me much. Now all of a sudden it's like something's getting through.
Yeah.
Why?
Exactly.
How do you get to the point of why? And then I have to go, I immediately go to where Paul's saying, I prayed 3 times to have this thorn removed from my side. And God says, whoa, buddy, hold on. First off, I work best at your weakest state.
I love
And
that.
secondary to that, my grace is sufficient.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get in that application, it's probably talking of one or two things. It could be debatable. People would look at it from 2 different sides. It could be talking about a physical ailment or something that he's struggling with sin.
Yeah.
Okay. It could have been what he was struggling with before he was converted. He killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
He might have had a hard time letting that go. I think that we struggle with that sometimes because when we get put in a position of whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, you could almost hit the bullseye on anything. Sometimes we automatically go back to this old thing. Well, maybe they're holding something against me because of the old person I used to be. They're not seeing the new me and it's ticking me off. You know, just tonight, I mean, I've been having a lot of dreams lately, and I never have dreams. And they've been very vivid. And I'm not one to look into dreams as a specific nature of, do I need to analyze every dream I have? No, I don't. Now, there's caveats to that, obviously, when there's specific things that happen repetitively. So I've gone months without having a dream. Prior to that, I took medicine that inhibits dreams. You know what I mean? So then if I had a dream, it was pretty substantial. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I could go weeks without having one, and now it's been 3 days in a row of it. Yeah. Very, very vivid, very interesting. What do I do with it? Am I going to dwell on that? Probably not.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the specifics out of it, and I'm going to see what happens. But at the same time, there's obviously something going on. I can't pinpoint it just exactly yet to understand what's happening, where it's happening at.
I always find like patience is key.
Absolutely.
For
And I
sure.
think that's really what I'm driving at is, you know, when I explain it to someone else, they're like, oh, you need to do this. No.
And I really don't explain it to too many people either, man. A lot of times I just keep it to myself. I might, mention it maybe to the wife or you or something like that. You know what I mean? In passing though, but you get it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, so
I have a go-to guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just like anything. It's kind of like anytime he has this, my go-to guy, anytime that he has a specific dream, there's testimony that follows.
Yeah.
And it's backed up with real life stuff. He's like, this was my dream.
Yeah.
This is what happened afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
and sometimes it doesn't happen immediately. Sometimes it comes to life, as
Later.
we move. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But
And you'd
to
be
say-
like, oh, one of those moments. Oh, yeah, that makes sense now.
if he had asked me 3 years ago, I said, nah, that's not how it works. cut that out right now.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But that's
For
why it's
sure.
important to talk and debate and to gain knowledge.
Yeah. Got to have some conversations, man.
We have to. And you can't. I used to be fearful to have those conversations.
Oh,
to be
man, I
honest.
like them.
I like to be right. That's what I like.
Yeah, but then we get into what's right. You know what I mean? But yeah, I get it. Well, I get what you're saying, though, for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, you can find anything on Google to make you right.
Exactly,
We
man.
had a conversation of foxes last year at a camp out. Aren't foxes in the cat family? No, they're not. And not to pick on somebody, they're like, "Are you sure?" I think that's common knowledge. And you look it up, and it literally says they're not part of the cat family. But the first thing I found was a cat fox.
Exactly. I like the birds aren't real one too.
I'm not even going down that road now.
I said, birds aren't real. I said, what? I was like, dude, I bet we Google that, we'll find something. Dude, they even had like sweatshirts and t-shirts, all swag gear.
I'm so surprised you've never heard of that. So a guy in New York started that probably 10 years ago. Just really honestly, to be a jerk, to start a conspiracy theory, to say, come on, guys, get it together. I'm being dead honest. He came up with the most ludicrous thing and made it conspiracy theory, and thousands upon thousands of people followed him. Yeah,
birds aren't real, man.
He drives a van around that says that. It's crazy to me. It made him rich.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. I think it's so funny. Because, that's what I say. We could talk about those, have fun about those. It's just great.
It'll upset people, though.
People get upset, man.
I don't think our goal should be to upset people.
No, it's not our goal. But if you're like,
I'm not saying us. I'm saying in general.
Oh yeah, no, you shouldn't want to upset people. But I mean, it's going to happen. It's just, especially with so many people.
I still think conspiracies, whether they're true or not, the idea behind it is from Satan because it's a distraction.
Yeah, distractions.
How can you help your neighbor if you're worried about what they think?
Yeah,
I'm just saying. No.
I mean, I just like talking about them, I suppose.
Yeah.
I just have fun with it. Like I said, it doesn't change the purpose, doesn't change the mission.
No.
It's just fun to kind of talk about, man.
So I spent a fair amount of time looking into stuff, and I should have been reading my Bible.
Yeah.
Honestly. Just saying. Yeah. And that's me personally. That's just for me.
Yeah.
I think when it says stuff like pray without ceasing, meditate day and night.
Yeah.
Those are pretty serious commands.
Yeah, but as you look into some of those things, that might lead you into more prayer as well, too. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You got to pray for discernment.
That's what I mean.
That whole test of spirit thing is a difficult process.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't even know if we want to go there tonight. I was going to talk about spirits there for a second.
That's because we talked about it today. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
How long have we been on here?
I don't know,
15
man.
minutes.
Probably like 45 minutes to an hour.
It was after 8 when we started.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's 8:45. We can shut her down, man, if you want. I don't know.
I guess. I don't know. I could talk till midnight.
I could too, but hey, man,
I just woke up for the night, dude. I got a lot of nothing to do.
If you want to talk a little bit, we can talk about like if you want to get into like the spirit maybe a little bit, like we talked about earlier.
What do you mean, 'tis the season?
Yeah.
I think we should.
Okay. Let's go there. Now this is what my thought is, because there's a lot of things going around about Christmas, and things of that sort. And I don't have nothing against Christmas for sure. I think Christmas is a good thing, and as long as your focus is correct there, and you're focusing on what Christmas is there, and you're focusing on Christ, you're focusing on God. You know what I mean, and all that surrounds. Now, where I was thinking, the only thing I could think that would alter that, because I know there's a lot of past whatever. I'm not even going to get into that, I guess. My thinking is what someone told me the other day, and it's been a few, every year it kind of goes like this for the last several years, maybe last couple, 3, 4, I don't know, time flies. But someone would say, well, you're just not in the Christmas spirit.
Ugh.
Like, Ryan, you just need to get in that Christmas spirit. And you know what I mean? And not to ruffle feathers if you told me that. No offense, just something how my thought process works. It's like, you need to get in that Christmas spirit. And my thing is, well, no, I don't want to get in the Christmas spirit. I want to get into that Holy Spirit. I want that Holy Spirit to move into me. And if I start focusing more on that Christmas spirit, would that be the incorrect spirit? You know what I mean? Because that's the way my mind works. That's the only thing I could think that would sway my thought process on Christmas.
There's so many boxes on that, that you could look at. So,
let's dive in, sir.
I know. Well, we will be here till midnight then.
Yeah. Well, no, let's just hit it quick. See what's up.
I mean, think about this. So, like, I grew up in a home where we celebrated Christmas. My family on one side was mostly Swedish, and Christmas was a big deal. You know what I mean? The decorations, all these different things. But our focus was always Advent. Right?
I like it.
We sat down, as much as I disliked my mom for a lot of things, there were some things that she was really good at. And she was very religious. She really held to tradition, right? But she was almost all tradition, you know, and I'm not going down that road right now. Every day we did an Advent. And you know, some of them like have the little Advent things that you open up and you get like a little treat or something. Not our Advent calendars. It had a scripture verse. We'd open it and it would be a scripture verse. And then we would go to our Bible and read it. And then we'd do the Advent reading. We'd light the candle and then we'd go to bed.
Yeah.
And so on the other side of my family, which was mostly Reformed, was Christmas wasn't a big deal. I mean, they still participated. We had a Christmas dinner, but it was all, I don't even know what it was. I can't even explain it. Like, we gave gifts and different things, but it wasn't, it just, they're just, it was just another day.
Yeah. You know? It just wasn't much of nothing.
I think the arguments of things that go with it, what bothers me the most is when you would take scripture out of context and justify it to something that it's not.
You know, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, not to be specific, but you can't take something that was meant for something else and then start applying it broadly to anything.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how it works.
And what I don't, my thought too is on it, like this is where my mind goes on that Christmas spirit, is because they're making this moment about just one time of the year. When to me, it should surround the entirety of the year.
Yeah.
And I just, here, check this out, man, because I just looked it up here. I Googled, what is the Christmas spirit? And I got here, the Christmas spirit is a hopeful, generous, and kind spirit that people show to one another at Christmas time. It is an allegorical, allow me to read here, representation of Christmas and the way we feel about it. To believe in the Christmas spirit is to believe that the spirit is of greater value than material riches, and that who we are is more important than what we own.
I think those are all good things.
Yes, I do like that.
But
too.
you know what's not included in that?
Exactly. That's where I seen it too.
Yeah.
Christ is not involved into that. I don't
Right.
think. It doesn't mention it. Sure sounds good.
So,
but it also says it is hopeful, generous, and kind, which I would say are characteristics of the fruit of the Spirit there. But it says that people to show one another at Christmas time.
right.
I don't know, man.
We
I
should
think
do
it
that
should.
365, 24/7.
Yes, man. That goes back to the original message, love one another.
Absolutely.
So, anyways.
If you're only doing it one time a year, wow, you're really selling yourself short on the...
Yeah. And you know...
And you can't look at it for material blessings. You have to... Inner joy, inner peace, inner gratitude doesn't come from having stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff is temporary.
Yeah, so and that's what it kind of says here too, and that who we are is more important than what we own.
Yeah.
But one time a year.
I've had lots
Christmas
of stuff and
Only
lost
Christmas
it all.
time. Only Christmas time doesn't matter. And you know, and this is what I don't know. Okay, now let's take it this way. If we look at Christmas this way too, are we struggling? Because it always seems around Christmas time that it struggles. So I don't know what that is, but would some of that have to do with I'm fighting an actual spirit of Christmas instead of?
I don't think so. I think what you're doing
man.
for me, it's like, so
am I fighting that spirit?
I'll use my wife as an
that
example.
principality. You know what I mean?
Hopefully she'll be okay with this, but she digs Christmas. It's a big deal to her for lots
My
of
wife
reasons.
loves Christmas, man.
But it's a time, and she goes all out. And it's bothering her that she hasn't decorated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to me, I dig it and it's whatever, but I'm indifferent to it. It doesn't get me excited.
Yeah.
Now, what gets me excited is
You need to get into that Christmas spirit.
I guess, but I was in the Christmas spirit in September then because I was doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but yeah.
What gets me excited is seeing joy in others, and if that's what brings them joy, great. I love the idea of it's almost mandatory for family to get together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see Jeffrey, Mariah, and Jackson very much, and that's nothing. It doesn't have. They're busy.
Yeah.
They have a separate life from me. There's obviously an age gap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I see. I I do see, Jason and Lexi more than, but there's different reasons for that, it's a time that and so like the girls, they want to get together, everybody together. In fact, I'm super excited about that part.
So I'm looking at this again here. So according to the spirit of Christmas, to believe in the Christmas spirit is to believe that the spirit is of greater value than material riches. Well, it seems to me most people are missing that because they're running around buying a bunch of materialistic stuff to give to one another. So are they in fact missing the material aspect themselves?
A few years ago, listen, just hear me out on this.
I'm just talking smack.
A few years, my dad every year at Christmas since I've been 18 has always given me a $200 gift card of some sort, either a Visa card or a Walmart gift card. If sometimes there for a while, he's giving me Dick's Sporting Good cards because he knew I needed stuff for the boys.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, he gave $200 to a Southern Baptist mission and sent me a card saying that that's what he'd done. And it was like one of the times I was struggling the most financially, even worse than now.
Yeah.
Okay. It was when Trisha transitioned from being a dental assistant, because that was really into going from making, basically cut her wage to a quarter of what she was making. Yeah. And he sends me this card. I was frustrated. Because first off, I said, if you're going to send it to a mission, at least let me pick.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah.
And
I thought you was needing the $200. You're like, Dad, why would you help out the missions to help me out, man?
Well, that was the other thing too. But I'm like,
I can get that frustration.
At the basic level, I was like, at least let me pick where it goes, because I would have gave it to Mary Mag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then there's that. So yeah. So in the idea of this, and it was weighing on me too, because I was like, well, if I get this gift card, then we can go get the kids something.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm like, perfect. You gave it to a gazillion-dollar mission that, first off, I don't agree with, and secondary to that, why? Great. And there's other aspects of that I felt like that played into that. It's just like I don't feel like I have the finances right now to go buck wild crazy and buy gifts for people. And then I definitely don't feel like I should do that when I'm not able, in my head, not able to give like I think I should be able to. And there's not necessarily a requirement on giving. You know what I'm saying? Tithing, things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I always feel like time's more valuable than what I can financially give anyways.
Oh, for sure. Time's way more valuable.
Yeah, because you can't buy that back. I don't care how rich you are.
Yeah, and anymore now, that's kind of like, I like how you hit on that too, because I like the Christmas time too. It just brings about, you get to spend time with your family. Like I was sitting there, like, my kids are at college and whatnot. So during that time, like, college is out.
Yeah.
So I got one that comes back in and moves back into the house for like a month, man. I love it.
Right.
So it's like I get to see him. Like I got off work today, go in there, he's chilling on the couch. You know what I mean? I was like, yes, man.
Yeah.
So awesome. I get to see you.
I was grumpy that college was out today. We went to the college to eat, and we walk in, and it's all closed. I was like, what's going on?
I forgot you've been eating at college. Yeah, I love it, man. I'm glad the college is closed, man. I can see my boy. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Don't have any kids in college.
Yeah, for real though.
It is a good reminder. I mean, it's just like a lot of church tradition is to remind us.
Yeah.
Okay, so whether you're in or out of the church doesn't matter. That there's an idea of this is, and hopefully whatever you get out of this, whether it's a Christ spirit, Christmas spirit, whatever, let's look at it from a positive, is that it'll put something in your heart that will help you to do it longer. It's like New Year's resolutions.
Oh,
I'm going to make a New Year's resolution. Yeah. Trisha's going to do a 40-day sugar fast. She does it every year for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Started doing it Lent. Now it's like a thing, New Year's resolution. Right.
Yeah.
Well, why only do it for 40 days?
Yeah, keep it going.
Yeah. I'm not joining the sugar fast, just for the record.
I like my sugars.
I went 37 days once. I was a grumpy.
I cut it back, but I do like my sugars.
But I had a good friend say, you know what? I chewed for 40 years, and I decided to quit at Lent, and it's only 40 days, do it with my hands tied, whatever. And then at like day 41, he's like, I'm just going to quit. I'm not going to go back to it. What's the point?
I like it.
That's how I did methamphetamines. I just put it down and never picked it back up.
You went from chew to methamphetamines.
I look at them as the
We
same.
started sugar, went to chew, then went to meth.
Addiction's addiction, right?
It is. It
I'm
is.
just saying the way,
Some are a
honestly,
little worse than others, I would say. But addiction is addiction.
well, yeah. So nicotine's probably the lesser of the evils. Sugar's
I would agree.
actually psychologically,
bad.
physically, and all that is worse than methamphetamines in the long-term scheme of things. Yeah. I've looked into it. Trust
That's
me.
debatable, man. That's debatable. I would argue that one.
If you even look at the addictive nature,
Well, no, I'm saying, but you take a guy that's doing meth every day. You know what I mean? 5 times a day or 6 times a day. How much you're eating sugar? Put those side.
So the
to
only
side.
good
You're
thing
saying
is
the
while
meth
he's-
head would be better off than the guy eating sugar.
the meth head's not eating any sugar because he's not eating nothing.
Well, I know, but I would say he's worse off than the guy eating sugar.
The damage it actually does to your body, physiologically wise, is worse than methamphetamines.
The guy,
I didn't say psychological. I'm saying physiological. So your biometrics, all these things, what it does to your brain, your liver, all these things, is worse.
I disagree, man. I disagree with that science, man, for sure. We're going to get in a debate right here on the podcast.
Well, we have nothing to back it up with facts. So
Yeah,
I'll
I know.
have to-
I haven't really looked into
I'll
it much.
get into my notes.
I just know I have experience, and I know little kids who have eaten sugar that have grown into old men eating sugar. And I know if you took those same people and put them on methamphetamines at the age of 1 and fed them meth until they're 80, they're going to be way worse off.
No,
than the
listen,
dude
hold
doing
on a
sugar.
second here. But you're looking at you can't. Okay, so you got to look at the difference. Someone that's addicted to sugar, right?
Yeah.
That's eating large amounts of it because they're addicted to sugar.
I'm just picturing.
You can't apply that to someone that puts a spoonful of sugar on their oatmeal in the morning. You know what I mean? It's not even the same thing. I'm talking about someone that's in addiction to sugar specifically, and you see them all the time.
Yeah.
Most of them are diabetics.
Yeah, true. As they get older, I suppose.
Yeah. So a lot of that has to do with the long-term effects of it too.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I see what you're saying, though. I do see what you're saying, but I still say a daily dose of methamphetamine is worse than a daily dose of sugar.
Depends on how much your dose is. There's very few things in moderation that are bad for you.
Okay.
So if your daily dose of methamphetamines was one,
Well, I'm talking
one
about
Adderall
an
pill.
addiction. I'm talking about an addiction dose.
Right.
An addictive dose of sugar versus methamphetamines.
Well, and you can't equate it by weight either, because if you did 5 pounds of meth versus 5 pounds of sugar, there's a huge difference.
Well, yeah. I'm saying whatever that amount is, whatever that amount is. I don't know. We'll have to
Right.
carry this on. But I say,
And I'm not talking about psychological. I'm talking physiological effects, not psychological. But it does damage your brain still the same.
I was going to say, man, it would jack it up, I would think. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Could you
I would think like
imagine
your
if you were-
kidneys, like, you know what I mean? Like the meth running through, you think your organs and stuff like that. I think it would do more damage than sugar, man. Because that's like, I don't know what it's made out of exactly, but it can't be that good, dude. It can't be that good. It's like, look underneath
It'll be funny,
sink.
too, if I go on there, the studies from 1983.
Dude, look underneath the sink, man. There's some of that stuff that's in there, man. You're going to say that's better than sugar.
Well, that's low-quality methamphetamines.
I don't know, bro. Just saying, man. It can't be
Someone's
good.
going to get triggered to give up sugar and start
I'm
doing
sorry,
meth
but this
now.
is funny. I just keep picturing, like, you know what I mean? Like,
This is why this is, no, listen.
We got this kid anyways, eating some sugar and then another one putting meth on the cereal.
One bite in, he wouldn't finish his cereal.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah.
So my youngest kid, I would say, had
Oh.
a sugar addiction when he was probably 11 or 12. And I was just as bad to encourage it because I didn't want to fight with him because I only got to see him every other weekend. But he would literally eat a 5-pound bag of Sour Patch Kids in a night. And like, if I bought him, he'd be like, give me some Skittles, Pops. I'm like, all right. I give him like, the little bag.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's this? And then all of a sudden I was like, well, how big of a bag do you need? And I said, I'm not buying you the big bag of Skittles, bro. And he's like, well, then don't buy me nothing. Like, he was mad almost about it. And then other people would buy him the 5-pound bag of Sour Patch Kids.
Like, dude, man, and I tell you what, man, I get that.
You have my dog addicted to Skittles.
Because I could eat some sugar, man. Like, if I really wanted to, man, I could get down, especially those little sour ones. You know, those, what are they? Well, I don't even know what they are. Those little sour, sweet candies.
Yeah, I'm terrible addicted.
Dude, those are fire, especially those little watermelon ones.
Any gummy candy, gummy bears, Sour Patch Kids.
I will gobble
gummy
them
worms,
up, man.
sour gummy worms. I don't care.
Like, if I didn't have self-control on those, dude, I mean, I'd be running around with no teeth probably, man. I eat those things up.
It could happen. So
I'd be like, well, Ryan said to do meth instead.
That's not what I said.
It's better.
It's all
better
allegorical.
I'm taking the lesser of two evils.
100%. I go down that road. Absolutely.
Oh,
That's
man.
why I try to cut it all out of my life.
Yeah, for real though.
Tis the season, Keeler.
That's
Tis the
hilarious
season.
though. I do like
When you
that.
go back to, let's talk about Christmas again.
Oh yeah.
So in this idea of it's familial, like you should be with your family, and
Yeah.
it is awesome that your kids are out of college.
Yeah.
I think it's actually really cool because you get to catch up on what they've done over the semester.
Yeah.
You get to ask
Get
them.
to see them more.
Absolutely. Yeah, they'll be all shacked up in your basement.
You know, not to mention, like, you know, work. I usually have vacation I take at the end of the year, too, at that
Right.
Christmas time. So I'm off, like, you know, about a week and a half or so, or a week at least, you know, during that time. So then I get really spend some time. You know what I mean? Not to mention, just everybody gets together, like you said, around that holiday, man.
Absolutely. I have so much things to be joyful for, and it's so nice at Christmas time to reflect on my year
Yeah.
and to count it all joy.
Yeah.
Even
For
the
real,
struggles.
though. Even the
Because
struggles,
you know what? I
man.
survived it.
Yeah, man. And stronger for it, man. Better.
Definitely better.
Yeah.
Learned
Better.
a lot this year.
Getting better every day and in every way.
The whole, like I said, it's all about your focus.
Yeah, man.
If your focus is,
It is,
if your
too.
focus is whatever, great. I mean, let that be your focus. But at the same time, if your focus is being a Scrooge, which I get called often because I'm not into it the same as other people are,
Ooh.
that's okay too.
So we're in the blissful state. Our focus gets off. Boom. Go through the ceiling.
Now we're back to the 4 T's again.
Yep.
How do we overcome that? Other than my phone's over there recording us, there's the other thing of the 4 T's that I like. So you'd say it's the 8 T's. And so you have these trials, temptations, tests, and tribulations, whatever it is. And then you have like triumph, testimony, something else. And I can't remember it off the top of my head, but
I'll say tools.
well, there could be too.
That
Yeah.
leads into this.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we hit about our hour now.
I don't think so, man. We're a little past 9.
I'm going to be so upset if I get over there and recorded nothing.
Do you want me? We'll close this one. Man, and tell you what, just to jump on this one, before I didn't have this up. I sat down, turned on my phone, and boom, this was automatically up on the screen.
I love that.
And then we just led kind of right into it. So the battle, this reads, the battle for the mind is relentless. The enemy never sleeps, but constantly attacks our minds. Thank God we can submit to him and resist the devil. Thank God the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. The tools of our trade aren't for marketing or manipulation, but they are for demolishing the entire massively corrupt culture. We use our powerful God tools for smashing warped philosophies, tearing down barriers erected against the truth of God, fitting every loose thought and emotion and impulse into the structure of life shaped by Christ. Our tools are ready at hand for clearing the ground of every obstruction and building lives of obedience into maturity. Note 2 Corinthians 10, 4-6. Keep putting the armor of God on.
Wow.
I don't know where that came from, dude. I'm just saying, I don't even know that I had that saved in my notes.
That's a read it again statement right there.
You want me to read it again? I mean, I don't know. I just pulled it up on my phone when we sat down. It happened to be in my notes. I don't remember saving that to my notes.
Man, that was power packed.
And dude, it was sitting right there when I opened my phone. Didn't even have my notes up.
I need you to
You
go
know what I
ahead.
mean? I had my display screen on trying to, get it to stay
I
on.
need you to send that to me. I'll put it in the description. And
Dude.
it needs to go on the Facebook.
Well,
page.
it's fired. I can look at that, man. Like, and I swear that just popped up. I don't even know how it got there. But anyways, we'll read it again. Blows my mind. It just popped up when we started the podcast. And I hadn't read it till just now. The battle for the mind is relentless. The enemy never sleeps, but constantly attacks our minds. Thank God we can submit to him and resist the devil. Thank God the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. The tools of our trade aren't for marketing or manipulation, but they are for demolishing the entire massively corrupt culture. We use our powerful God tools for smashing warped philosophies, tearing down barriers erected against the truth of God, fitting every loose thought and emotion and impulse into the structure of life shaped by Christ. Our tools are ready at hand for clearing the ground of every obstruction and building lives of obedience into maturity. Note 2 Corinthians 10, 4 through 6. Keep putting the armor of God on.
Dang, dude. It's fire.
Dude, that is on fire. That's on point, dude.
I know it.
I got those Holy
Ghost
Ghost bumps all over me.
We love you guys.
Love you guys.
Enjoy, and just enjoy the season of everything that's happening. Try to focus on the good.
Mm-hmm.
Merry Christmas early.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
We love you guys.
Love you guys. One love. Love you, Ryan. See you, man.
Good stuff, man.
For sure. That was good.